Have you ever noticed how easy it is for everything except your marriage to get your full attention? You know, the phone buzzes, you respond. Work emails pile up, you jump in. Social media scrolls, you lose 20 minutes and you didn't even and where did that time go? But when your spouse needs you, I mean really needs you, there's just not a lot of space left. Busyness, distraction, unresolved arguments, that kind of feeling of being unseen. They all build one thing. They build something we call marriage drift. Well, there's good news, and here's the good news. Marriage drift isn't a dead end. It's not the end of the road, so to speak. Today, I'm going to show you how to stop the drift and begin to move towards the marriage you were looking for. Well, in our last video, we defined marriage drift and listed some common signs that your marriage is drifting, how you would know that your marriage is drifting. Before we dive into some ways to stop your marriage from drifting, let me just tell you a story. It's a true story. I think it will help us lead us to some marriage drift solutions, in fact. So my wife, Lynn, was invited to accompany some friends, none who had really spent any time on a sailboat, and she was invited to go for a day sail in Long Island Sound. The captain, his close friend, known him for years, had borrowed his parents' 38-foot long sailboat. He had no apparent destination in mind. I mean, listen, the day started out just so well. A beautiful sunny summer day with just a beautiful breeze for sailing. However, after sailing for a couple hours in open water, things began to unravel. The wind suddenly just died. Our friend, the captain, started the engine and moved the sailboat along. They were motoring along for probably about a half hour when he noticed that the main sheet line, which attaches to the main sail, had been improperly knotted at the end, and it was unraveling. And in fact, it was now in the water and sinking towards the back of the boat. Well, before he knew it, they found the engine motor kept going, but they weren't going anywhere. They heard kind of a whine from the back of the boat, and he said, "You know what? I wonder if that sheet just got wrapped around the propeller." Turned off the motor, and he dove down to try to see if he could get the main sheet, but it was clearly anchored to something. What he thought when he went under the boat, it was actually wrapped around the propeller. So he and another friend were diving down and to unwrap that rope. It took almost an hour to do. And it became quite clear that during that time, the sailboat had drifted further into open ocean. The land began to appear further and further away. Well, my friend, the captain, now restarted the engine, but soon even that petered out. Think about it. I mean, this is not a good, it started out a great day for sailing, but this was not going well. He started the engine again and again and again with the same results. He told Lynn in confidence that the engine had been doing this the last time he took it out, but he kind of bemoaned the fact that he hadn't really done anything to get engine to fix it. He had really done no engine maintenance on it or given any attention to the engine like it was supposed to have. And in fact, his folks had actually told him, please get this thing. It needs maintenance and so on. You're going to sail it. You're responsible for it. But he didn't do it. What a predicament he was in. I mean, think about this. He hadn't made any plans for a destination. So he didn't tell his wife where he was going, where he was going. There was no wind to sail, no engine to motor by. And now they were drifting into open ocean. And they drifted and they drifted. And on top of that, his ship to shore radio, I mean, what else could go wrong? Which he was supposed to have had repaired was not working now. No way to call for help. Fortunately, within a half hour, 45 minutes, another sailboat came by, and our friends, flagged him down and said, "Hey, we need to use your ship to shore radio. We're really stuck." They called the Coast Guard, and before he knew it, they came out, and he had a very expensive and embarrassing tow back to the harbor they had sailed from. No destination, no trained crew. I mean, my wife wasn't trained, and she'd been on a sailboat a couple times, but no trained crew, and obviously no maintenance to the engine and other things. Well, the truth of the matter is that marriage can be a lot like sailing. Marriages that don't have a destination, that have really no trained crew members, that is the couple themselves, into marriage and what marriage is all about, and little to no maintenance in their marriage, they're going to drift. Every healthy marriage needs three things, at least: a destination to sail towards, so to speak, regular maintenance to keep their marriage engine strong, and training to know how to navigate storms, but how to be married. When we become, so to speak, intentional marriage sailors, we attend to all of these things, your drift in your marriage is going to stop. So let's break these down and look at each of these. And I'm going to make some practical suggestions about how you can, even the moment you get off of this video, will be able to start turning your marriage boat around and stop the drift. Let's look at destination first. Your marriage needs a destination. Every marriage needs a destination, but can I tell you, uh, I would say all of the couples that come to us, not a one of them has ever had a destination in marriage. What do we want it to be in 3 months? What do we want it to look like in a year? What needs attention? What can we do to actually pick some goals for our marriage? Well, here's a solution. Schedule a date night. Remember, the date night, like we said in the last video, is just for the two of you. A date night just for the two of you. This is not for the kids. This is not for family. This is not for friends. This is just the two of you. Bring 2 pieces of paper, one for each of you to write on, something to write with, and then answer the question. So this will be a date night. You make it fun. Rate your marriage connection from 1 to 10. This might be a little ouchy. 1 meaning hardly connected to each other, and 10 meaning, wow, we're so well connected. As a couple, we really don't even need this exercise. We're going to skip it. I'm guessing if you're looking at this, that's probably not you. In fact, I don't know that we've ever met a couple like that. Pick a destination date in which you want to see connection changes really occur. Be practical. I would start with 3 months. Say, in 3 months, we want to be connected. We want to be better connected, and it should be obvious. So mark the date on your calendar when you want to start seeing these changes. And then we want to begin with 2 exercises. One is what we call the fondness and admiration exercise. You can see the link, by the way, for each of these exercises in the links below. You want to continue following that exercise and doing what it says to do, to continue for 3 months and reevaluate your marriage connection. Is it any better? Any change? Any improvement? And then give it a number, 1 to 10, another rating. I guarantee if you do this the way that admiration and fondness and admiration exercise mentions, you will start to see some connection changes, some improvement. Okay, that's exercise number 1. Once you kind of get that exercise in your habits, so to speak, you've really gotten it and you actually enjoy it. we suggest adding a love language exercise. Now, for many of you, the love languages, the five love languages are probably well known. You've heard about them. You maybe even taken a love language quiz. In fact, you may even know what your love language is. Well, if you don't know what it is, or you haven't taken it as a couple, we would recommend that you take the five love languages quiz, and you can see the link once again below to take it. And it will tell you what are your primary love languages. Okay. And then with the next link, the last of the links, three links, I want you to follow the five love language exercise. Your basic, and so what you're going to be doing, you're going to be practicing these two exercises, um, on a regular basis. That's your choice, how regular that is. The more regular, the better. The sooner you'll see connection changes, connection improvement. And we absolutely are certain, because we've never seen this violated, we are absolutely certain that if you're doing those two exercises, they don't take a lot of time at all. If you do it regularly for 3 months, you're going to see noticeable connection improvement. So you will see those connection numbers from your original evaluation change. That's a good beginning destination for your marriage. It's a couple goal. It's a goal that you can measure. And it's something that is not difficult. Okay? So get started with that. Once again, you're picking a destination as a couple. Now, number two, how about getting some training as what we would call marriage sailors? Well, healthy marriages don't happen by accident. I think you know that. And we know that healthy marriages need training. In fact, I would say that healthy marriages require regular training. So, and once again, I would say that training often prepares marriages. If you're the training crew, you're being trained, they really, really will save you from the storms that are inevitable that will come in your marriage. You need to learn how to communicate. You need to learn how to resolve conflict, work as a team, and build intimacy long before the storms and the waves rise. You need to be trained. And you can learn this too. You weren't meant, to be honest with you, you weren't meant to guess your way through love. You were meant to grow your way through it. Did you hear what I said? Marriage love, which is a broad topic, another subject entirely, is not a guessing game. It's a way, it's a training. It's not a game at all. It's a training, and it's a place that you want to grow in. You want to become learners. It's one reason why we create these videos. We want to help you become skilled marriage sailors, not drifting ones. So follow our videos. All of these are, for the most part, training videos, but in some way or another. So get to see our training videos. Get used to them. I mean, yes, it's a shameless plug, but subscribe to our YouTube channel and to these videos. And I think the training that you'll get will, if you are diligent about it as a couple, and I would do this together, by the way. This is an awesome thing to do together. You can start independently, but when we coach couples, we coach the couple. Our client is the couple. Yes, we do individual work with couples, but their client is the couple. And our videos are designed to help couples move forward and stop the drift. Well, that's number two. Get the training that every couple needs to not only stop drift, but to move forward. Enjoy the journey, the sail, so to speak, of your marriage. Number three, what keeps your marriage engine running? Regular maintenance to curb marriage drift. Well, one obvious way um, to have regular marriage maintenance is by scheduling weekly date nights. And so these are all kind of non-negotiable elements of date nights. I think you may know this, but you may not know this. Your nights need to have phones off. Phones off. I would say that it doesn't make any difference who plans them, but I would alternate whoever plans. So husband plans one date night, and then the wife plans the next date night. Each of you has ideas, different ideas on where to go, what to do. Make it simple. Make a date night, maybe a walk somewhere in a beautiful park or in the countryside, or a cup of coffee or some ice cream, or make it creative, but make it fun. And during these date nights, we want you to ask each other one question. And I would say that it would probably be a good idea not only to ask the question, but you're asking your partner, your spouse, this question. Write down what they tell you. You'll be surprised, I think, what you hear. And then whatever they tell you, follow, um, follow their lead. So here's the question. How can I love you better this week? Now, the answers can be a little ouchy sometimes. All of us think we're good lovers and we're good partners and so on. And so go easy on one another until you get used to this. You don't have to be ouchy with your answers to that question, but be honest and be concrete. Be concrete. Your partner can't. So an answer to that question, how can I love you better this week? Well, just love me this way. That's fine, but make it very, very concrete. The person asking, how can I love you better this week? Listens, no editorializing. I would write down the answer, and then I would respond by thanking your spouse for their answer. And then you can even brainstorm back and forth. So if I want to meet your I want to love you better this week. How can you're answering how I can do that, but you might need some more detail on how to do that. So don't be afraid to ask your spouse. So how do I do that? What specific would work for you? And write that down. And then don't forget about it and tuck the answer away in a drawer that you'll never look at. But pick it up and try as soon as you can to make that happen, make that answer happen. It's not just something that you listened to, it's something that you did. This is a great way to do a date night and to really begin to maintain your marriage. So let me just conclude. Marriage drift is not, it doesn't require a miracle to change. I think many people think you got to do something. It'll take a miracle maybe for the boat to change around. And maybe in some marriages, your drift has now led you to basically crashing on the rocks of near divorce. What I've suggested may be not enough. You may need something deeper. But for the most part, if you've been drifting, you don't need a miracle. You need a plan. You need a plan to stop marriage drift and a destination to aim for. Some simple skills you can learn together, and I may mention a couple, and regular maintenance to keep the connection strong. Don't make a big deal of this, but start small. Start this week, but start. Well, you'll start to see with those intentional steps, you will begin to see your marriage move forward again. Okay. Well, if this helped you stop drifting and start sailing again, uh, hit the subscribe button, or if resonates with you, we would recommend just follow us on YouTube. Hit the subscribe button and join us on a regular basis. We're here to help you build the skills and the rhythms and the connection that will make your marriages thrive. So let's sail this journey together. See you next time.